Marx said that communism would hit America in two stages. Stage one happened in 1930 when the Frankfurt School sent teachers to Columbia University. And then stage two happened when my friend here, Donald Trump, got taken down by socialist media. What happened to our elections? You know, as Stalin says, it's not who votes that counts, it's who counts the votes. The number one aim of communism is the abolition of private property. Number two was taxation. A heavy and progressive income tax is necessary for the spread of communism. And what Biden did, he hired 87,000 new internal revenue agents. They're going after our money. The average American doesn't know that because they think, oh, I must pay my taxes. But if you look at history, America was, I'm going to promote myself here. This is Rich Dad's Prophecy. Came out in 2013. And I said why the biggest stock market crash in history is still coming and how you can prepare and profit from it. So this was 2013, but I just watched what happened after 2008. And, you know, that was a repo market crash. All these crashes were happening. But the average person without financial education, unlike you and myself, has no idea what's going on. And going a long way back in 1965, I read this book here called The Communist Manifesto. It's only like 50 pages, but it's one of the most influential books in history. You know, I hope someday I can write a book as powerful as this one. But the Communist Manifesto is the manifesto of academics. And I hate to say that because that's the story of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I went to military school in New York, you know, and my economics teacher had me read this book here. And I go, why are we studying him when we studied Keynes or, you know, Malthus or those guys or Ricardo? He says, because this guy here, Marx and Engels, they're the most powerful economists in the world. So in 1965, I was 18 years old in New York City. I came from Hawaii all the way to New York to read this book here. And I go, holy Jesus, my family are communists. Now, it doesn't mean they're bad people, Brian. This is where I get my ass in trouble. You know, you call somebody a communist, and I'm a Marine too. You know, Marines, you don't take the word communist lightly because you shoot them. So I spent two tours in Vietnam as a Marine pilot. And so when I read this book here, I went, oh my God, communism is like Christianity or Buddhism or Mormonism, whatever you want to call it. It's communism or economics is an economic religion. If you can understand that. So when I read this book here, it's only like 50 pages. I'm like, oh my God, my family communists. That's like saying, oh my God, I just found out my family are Mormons. And you know how goofy it is here in America is my friends are Mormons, but they're treated like they're communists. So that's human nature, what I'm getting at, Brian. You know what I mean? If somebody is unlike you, we tend to want to kill them. So I read this book here and I went, oh my God, what's happening? You know, we're teaching communism to our kids. So let me just read one, you know, what Marx says. The abolition, the number one aim of communism is the abolition of private property. Okay, that's number one. Number two was taxation. A heavy or progressive income tax is necessary for the spread of communism. So I watch what person does, not what they say. So this guy, Joe Biden right now, he just hired 87,000 new IRS internal revenue agents. That man, by his actions, maybe not in his, I don't think he's got a mind left anyway. He and I are the same age. And I act like him sometimes. But anyway, he hired 87,000 new IRS internal revenue agents. They're going after our money via communism. But the average American doesn't know that because they think, oh, I must pay my taxes. But if you look at history, and you know, you and I are both Americans, America was founded as a tax-free nation. It was called the Boston Tea Party. Was that 1773? That was the foundation of America. And then these Nazis, communists, fascists get in there and they start teaching, oh, you should pay your taxes. I'm going, that's not what the Constitution says. Do you know what I mean? And so our problem, Brian, is in education. So that's why I wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I don't hate my family. I respect them. Like my sister is a Buddhist nun. You know, she could try to convert me to Buddhism, but I said I'm a Marine. You know, we kill Buddhists. We all come from different philosophies. And I think the word that's missing today is respect for other people's philosophies, but also is a respect for our education. What are our schools teaching kids today? Gender identity is us, but no, what the heck are we teaching? Black Lives Matter? Well, what about all lives matter? Why don't we teach them that? Absolutely, because when I read this book here, I went, oh my God, what is a central bank? What is the Federal Reserve Bank of America but a central bank? What is the Bank of England? A central bank. What is the ECB, European Central Bank? They're Marxist organizations. They're Marxist organizations. At the core of it, they're Marxist. It used to be a bank was just a small little bunch of guys getting around. They lend money out. In religion, I wasn't very religious, but I was raised a Christian. They have a picture of Jesus chasing out the bankers. That should have been a lesson for everybody. If Jesus was kicking all these bankers, maybe we should too. Oh, well, look, this here is a helicopter gunship. I flew this in Vietnam.
Oh, yeah.
Went down 3 times. I went down 3 times in Vietnam. I said, that's enough. You only have, how many lives? You have 9 lives. I got 6 left. But anyway, I was out there killing commies. And I went, oh my God, we should read this book here. So I came back from Vietnam, January 3rd, 1973, too. I landed in Norton Air Force Base in California, and I got hit with eggs and spit on by all these hippies, these love children. And 69 was Woodstock and all this stuff. The hippies were coming on. I went, holy mackerel. What this guy had said was coming true. Marx said that communism would hit America in 2 stages, or capitalism. Stage 1 happened in 1930 when the Frankfurt School sent teachers to Columbia University, Teachers College. And so that was 1930. That was stage 1. And then stage 2 happened, in my opinion, and is when my friend here, Donald Trump, got taken down by socialist media. What happened to our elections? What happened to our elections? That's communism. As Stalin says, it's not who votes that counts, it's who counts the votes. And so, Brian, I sit here as an American, a veteran, killed a lot of people, good people, in the name of capitalism versus communism. And I come home to get spit on, hit with eggs. Remember those days? I remember I had, Marines had no hair, and all these guys had these, they were in their tranny haircuts and all this stuff. I don't care who you sleep with. It's none of my business. Do you know what I mean? I don't care if you want to swim with the girls team. I really don't care, but the girls might care. You know what I mean? Like, what the heck's happening here? But anyway, so I've been fighting it ever since, and we fight via education. So you and I fight via education. It's the most important thing we got. And I know you get attacked, I get attacked by the very people that are supposed to be promoting freedom of education, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. What's happened to our freedoms? That's what my concern is. Well, that's why I wrote this book here in 1997. It came out. This book had to be self-published, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because every one of those academic elites running our publishing houses like Simon & Schuster and all that, they turned my book down because they're Marxists. They said, you don't know what you're talking about. I said, what do you mean your house is not an asset? What do you mean savers are losers? What do you mean this? Why do you say you should not pay your taxes? Look at my friend here, Donald, when he ran against Hillary Clinton, she says, Donald, you don't pay taxes. And he laughed at her and he says, that means I'm smart. And again, you go back in history, America fought Mother England in 1773 because of the tax on, I think, tea, the Boston Tea Party. You look at our history. We fight for our freedoms. But today, once the academics, as this book says here in 1930, entered Columbia University, he didn't say this, but that's when the teachers took over the communists took over academics. And then this, my friend here, gets taken down in 2020 in a rigged election. Now I'm going to get censored for that. But in my opinion, just go back to what Stalin said, it's not who votes that counts, it's who counts the votes.